Welcome to another episode of To the Sky. I'm your host, Franz, and with me today I have I like to think is quite exciting person with me, Gabriella. We've kind of met briefly when we worked together on a project a while back, um, and I'm excited for you guys to meet her. She has I mean, if you look quickly at her uh, background, it's quite exciting. Um, I had to write it down. So she's a co-founder for Baobei. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. And she is a president. It's exciting already. A president at this age for the Healthcare Technology Association. Absolutely exciting. And the one that I'm also quite interested about is your Manawatu investment. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Your experience there as well. I mean, it's quite the list, honestly. Always keeping yourself very busy. Absolutely amazing. But can you explain yourself to the audience in your own words?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for that awesome introduction.
No problem, no problem. I mean, it's exciting just to
Yeah.
have you on.
Okay, so I'm pretty much finishing off my last semester. I'm studying marketing, entrepreneurship, and pharmacology. It's a bit of an odd mix, but I'm quite enjoying it so far. So yeah, but on top of my studies, um, I've been the president of Healthcare Technology Association for the past 1.5 years. But since I'm already almost graduating, we're gonna pass it on to somebody else. Um,
Uh, i i
very
is this a student club or is this an actual separate organization run by students or something?
So it's kind of a mix of both because it's a student club based on the University of Auckland, but our audience is about 50-50 professionals, industry professionals, and also students. So we're quite well known as well in the industry. So not only in like among students. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um, I actually kind of want to go back and touch on your degree for a little bit, if that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds amazing. You doing so much. Was it like readily available, or did you had to convince a bunch of people in like University of Auckland to let you do this combination?
So it's actually a bit of mix and match for myself because you can do a conjoint degree, commerce and science, right?
Yeah.
But then when I started uni, I wanted to do something related with medical science. So, but there's not much options. So the only options are either pharmacology, physiology, or I think that's it. For medical sciences,
Mm.
that's why I took pharmacology because maybe pharmacy is quite interesting. And then for the commerce side, you can either take one major and then a bunch of random papers, or just make it another major. So I just made it another major.
That's
Yeah,
uh, that's absolutely exciting. And you said this is your final year.
yeah, yeah.
How is it studying during the COVID stuff? Is it as bad as I would imagine?
To be honest, I'm actually saving quite a lot of time by studying at home because regarding to all of the things that I do on top of my studies, it
Mm.
actually saves me time not to go to uni because I live in the shore. So it takes me about
Right.
an hour going there and an hour back, and then preparing yourself. So yeah,
I'm
the
quite
only unfortunate. Yeah,
sorry,
sorry.
sorry. No, I'm just saying I'm actually quite interested. Like you, you're coming out of university, experiencing kind of this working from home environment, where somebody like my parents who, never even attempted to work from home. But I mean, from what you're saying, it seems like it's having such a positive impact and shouldn't be overlooked or be seen as like a negative way. Like I think there's still some people who are quite concerned or worried about working from home, and I think there could be a lack of trust between the employer and employee. But if someone can self check themselves and be able to work from home, I think it is a viable way of working. Just what COVID
Mhm.
forced us to do anyway, right?
Yeah, definitely. Gotta like adapt and probably just look at the
Mm.
positive side of it. Yeah.
Um, Okay, Gabriella, are you always learning?
Yeah, I think I am. So, I mean, obviously, all of us students are always learning at uni, but
Mm.
I think I learned a lot from other people. By talking to just other people, I learned so much. And actually, this is something that I've been thinking for quite a while, you know.
Mm.
Maybe when I'm like 60 or something, I
Mm.
would want to go back to uni, just take one paper,
Yeah.
so not stress with the grades or anything, but just take one paper that I'm super interested when I'm 60 or something,
Yeah.
and then be surrounded with young people. Imagine what technology would look like in 40 years, right? And I think being surrounded by those people who are expert, I'll learn so much. So yeah, I think I'm always learning.
No, that's absolutely, and that's a great mindset. I'm a big fan of meeting new people, right? Like, part of the reason why I started this series is that I can meet incredible people such as yourself, right? I mean, you have such a great background already, and you're still willing to learn, and that's the part that I kind of wanna I get across to the people listening or watching, is that uh, adaptability is important. It's like you mentioned earlier, it's, I guess, what keeps us moving, right? And the one thing that I actually like from your answer is that you're willing to take a paper like when you're 60, or sorry, when you're much older, right? That's an interesting idea, and I never thought to, like, maybe maybe it's not that I didn't like uni, but I thought that I was free, right? Quote unquote free, and I don't have to look back or go back. And I actually like that idea that, yeah, maybe at some point it might be interesting just to go back and, I don't know, pick up maybe a language paper, or
Yeah,
I, I'm
exactly.
I'm interested in like some history, maybe a history paper, like maybe just some undergraduate history paper, and that sounds like not a bad idea. Yeah.
And you don't have to sort of worry about what comes next after this degree or anything. You just do it for the your own pressure and your own interest in learning something that you didn't know.
But I mean, did you come with this mindset when you were going into your degree currently? Is that the mindset you're also coming in with? Like,
Uh,
or do you have a lot more pressure at the moment?
I mean, right now it's more pressure of like, what do I do next? What do I do after uni? There's that
Hmm.
responsibility, right? But obviously, when you're that age, I
Yeah.
don't think you would. It's only yourself who you're taking care of. So yeah, like I
Yeah.
would love to just take any random paper.
Because that idea of doing something and not looking forward, or not worrying about what comes next, is I think it's an interesting approach. There's those people who say that they live at the moment, right? They just do what they want to do, and yeah, like I sometimes feel like I worry too much about the future. I feel like that's how I've been living my life so far. I mean, truth be told, I did a degree called creative technology in AUT, and I have a lot of classmates and friends who were definitely quite worried of I guess the idea that there's too much lack of structure within the degree, and they're worried about what's next, and they have to find a job, or they have to find a career. And I guess freedom from that is interesting, and everybody has responsibilities now, but even to reach that point is not is not a bad idea.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think enjoy, like don't stress out too much of what to do next, because I
Yeah.
feel like if you can do your best at it, something will come up along the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
um can you speak about something that you have learned recently, since you're always learning, right? Like, what did you learn recently?
This is quite out there and
That's
quite
okay.
random.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I saw it on TikTok this morning. So you can actually make Siri sing. Yeah, you press the button to call Siri
Mm.
or just say, "Hey Siri," and then you say, "I see a little silhouette of a man." I can type it to you later so you
Yeah.
can put it on or something. You can actually make Siri sing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Wow. Like,
What? Okay.
so we gotta get that knowledge out there. That's exciting. We gotta push that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Currently I'm rocking an Android though, so I'm probably gonna have to ask somebody else in
Sorry.
the family that has an Apple. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty exciting. Yeah. Everybody's been doing so much wacky things, like with. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry, sorry. Yeah, no, people has been doing so much wacky things with like the like Siri or those digital assistants, which I'm personally a big fan of. I li- I I'm a big fan of how I use my digital assistant, setting up times and booking things and say, hey, I need a reminder. That's like probably the thing that I use the most. Is it's very useful for that. Um, yeah, I really like that.
For me, it's quite useful when you're driving, so it's
Right.
safer. You can just call, "Hey Siri," or I don't know if that happens to you. Maybe sometimes you suddenly have an idea or something and you just want to note it down. So just call, "Hey Siri." Yeah.
Yeah, it's very useful for that. I mean, like you said, like in a time that you can't use your hands, right? Good, good that you're not using your phone while you're driving. I'm a big fan of that. But yeah, like being able to jot down quick notes and decipher it later, I think is always fun. I kind of want to go through like your projects now. Like can you talk about a project that you've recently worked on that you were super happy about and wouldn't mind sharing to the audience?
So, just before lockdown, like me and the other co-founders started Baobei.
Mm.
So it's a travel app, pretty much. I know that this is
I
not really
know.
the time for
Yeah.
traveling or anything, but since we're doing it as a side project and we're using AI as well, it's gonna take quite a while
Oh,
to
nice.
build, and we've been doing it all virtually. So my other co-founders are my exchange friends from Spain and Italy.
Wow.
So over the past, I would say 6 months or so, we've been meeting a few times a week or so, and then working on this project. And I've been networking with other people, other entrepreneurs or young students trying to pursue their career. We haven't reached the end goal yet,
Mm.
but obviously it's sort of like a step by step, going through Velocity Challenge, or just recently
Right.
we got into semifinals for on pitch niche event. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah. So it's quite exciting.
Um, do you want to talk about what kind of travel app is it? Like, is it for lodging or destination? What is it for, or what is it designed to do?
The idea pretty much came like when I was traveling with my other co-founders. Well, back then they weren't co-founders yet, right? So we were traveling, and then it was so tiring to keep on planning an itinerary, and then we all like doing different stuff. So
Right.
I'm kind of more an activity person. I like doing biking or whatever. And then my other friend, she likes to do museums after museums after museums. So
Mm.
we kind of have to adjust each of our own preferences.
Mm.
And then after that, you have to structure it into an itinerary so you make the most out of your day, right? We
Right.
go from here, 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 here. Especially living all the way from New Zealand coming to like Europe, Spain, and Italy. It's
Mm.
sort of like you can't do it all the time, right? And then I was saying to them, oh, this is so tiring. Like, can we actually just have an app that suggests you whatever to do, and then just boom, you get an itinerary. And then we couldn't find anything that really matched the two. So one of my friend, he has a math and then computer science background. So he's like, oh yeah, let's just create it. I'm like, seriously, we create it? He's like, yeah, why not? Let's just try it, right? We
Yeah.
have nothing to lose. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's go for it. So yeah, it started sort of there. So now the app is uh, pretty much what we vision is to help users to plan their itinerary based on their preferences, and we try to support local businesses as well.
Right.
So local businesses would get suggested. So we're not gonna suggest like McDonald's or anything like that. We're gonna suggest, yeah, like for
Yeah.
instance, for New Zealand based companies only.
One thing that I would definitely be super interested to find is I'm kind of a sucker for I guess like what you mentioned is like local restaurants or local cafes, right? Not even like super like not even like chain restaurants or not even chain like cafes, but like those tiny cafe like near the beach or something. Like those ones are quite interesting and honestly quite hard to find if you don't know what you're looking for, right? As opposed to just typing a location and restaurant. But
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of how you guys came together. One thing that I've kind of learned is that just start something. Like, I love that attitude of let's make something. Why not, right? Because I've definitely been part of projects that you overthink too much. You plan and try to account for everything at the beginning, and then you don't even get to start in the first place. And
Yeah.
just that idea of coming together and trying it out, and if it doesn't work, does no harm, right? But clearly now there's something great coming out of it. You guys are finding your footing and finding your way forward, and that's honestly quite amazing, and it's something that I'm I guess quite proud of that you guys are being able to do.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel like don't be afraid of failing because we're at the age that we should be taking, the most risks
Yeah.
since we only responsible for ourselves, right?
Mm.
And even if you fail, you back to your main, the whole thing that you started to the
Mm.
sky learning.
Yeah.
So even if you fail, you've learned so much, especially with startup projects, in my opinion. When you don't know something, you just gotta work your ass off. Oh, sorry, can I say that?
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, you pretty much have to work so hard to find whatever you don't know. So if you fail, then you've already learned so much new stuff, anyways.
Yeah, and I definitely know people who are just straight up afraid, right? I always let people know, because especially now during the COVID times, right? Somebody's saying like, "Oh, I'm afraid to apply for a different job. What happens if I get if I get rejected or whatever?" Even before the COVID stuff, they were saying, "Oh, I'm worried. I don't know." Let's just say specifically for applying for new roles, right? And then I always ask them, so if you get rejected today, you get rejected today, you realize that your CV is not up to snuff, right? So you got to improve it. Then you say you got an interview. Your interview didn't go through. You didn't get the job. So your interview skills is not enough. Compare that person to somebody who only applied today versus this person who had gone through these failures. Who's gonna be better prepared for the next time that they have the opportunity to apply for a role, right? I think it's even this idea of feel rejection's not fun. I get that. It's not a great feeling, but to be able to learn from it, to be able to understand what went wrong is definitely a great skill in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I just read this quote or something just this week on
Mm.
LinkedIn. It says that when you're being rejected, obviously it sucks, but you're probably directed into something better. So I think that positivity is really good as well. And
Mm.
yeah, like you said, you learn new skills, you've practiced interviewing, you probably prepared a lot for the interview,
Yeah.
and now you know a bit more about the company.
Mm.
So and they actually have your CV. So in the future, you might apply again,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I guess it's kind of going back to the thing that you previously mentioned is that how you like meeting new people is that I think when people meet people, opportunity happens. I think that's when luck really happens is when two people meet or when a group of people meet, because I think waiting and just just waiting for something to happen doesn't really work. So being able to be active and being reaching out is a great skill. I did want to ask though. You mentioned it earlier as well. During the lockdown, you were meeting and interviewing. Oh, sorry, you were networking. How are you networking during the lockdown? That's something that's actually caught me off guard. How are you going about that?
Yeah, so pretty much just online events. Online events are pretty great actually because say
Okay.
you come to an online event and then somebody's speaking. At that moment, you can already be searching about that person on the side screen. So you
Right.
know what you're doing and stuff like that. And if you're interested to them, and also think about what value that you can give to this person, right? Don't just
Mm.
connect to receive something from them, but what can you actually give back as well? So think about that, and if that person might be worth it for you in the future, just connect with them. Just be respectful
Yeah.
and yeah, and just connect with them. Or if you're a fangirl or fanboy of somebody you see on
Mm.
screen that you're really a fan of, just follow them on LinkedIn. Maybe not connect yet, it's
Yeah.
okay, but just follow so you know their activities. And and yeah, you can be inspired.
That's man, you are full of knowledge. It's
Thank
it's quite amazing how you approach even like networking because I definitely I felt like I failed networking, right? In my second year at uni, I felt like networking meant you were collecting business cards because that's what it felt like that you needed to do. You feel like you're collecting or you're gaining something, but it's not. It doesn't mean much. It feels like it's very one directional, right?
you.
And I like this idea that it's not going to be a one directional way between you and this person. You're going to provide them information or new knowledge that they didn't have before, and creating commonality or creating some sort of friendship between that or acquaintance through that. And that is a very interesting way or smart way of actually looking at trying to reach out to different people, because it's very terrifying just trying to reach out and speak to people that I don't know. But having this middle information or middle ground is great. That's awesome. Yeah, I should try out more online events. Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually pretty good. And yeah, you can put your camera on if you like, or if you're feeling a bit rough
Right.
that day, you just turn it off and still get some knowledge.
Mm, mm.
But going back to what you said, definitely it is quite terrifying to just network with, especially people who are out there, CEOs or
Right.
directors or things like that. But just think about how you can maybe not provide value at this moment, but in the
Mm,
future.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Even I think even honestly applying for roles, it's it's let's say applying for Google. It's not the Google's gonna give you all the benefits, right? Of course they will if you have Google in your CV, but saying the fact that I will contribute here and I will become a very important contributor to the team is a lot better than I my dream company was Google, right? Like I think that's a lot better looking at it. Yeah, that's awesome. I guess I kind of want to get to know you a little bit more, right? What are your hobbies? You kind of mentioned you were into active, I think sports, right? Is that what you're
Yeah,
into?
I used to play basketball a lot. Like I moved here from Indonesia about 6 years ago.
Hmm.
I actually had the option to just go foundation and then skip a year and then go to uni straight away.
Wow.
But I chose to actually I moved back a little bit. I moved back half a year so I can go back to high school and play basketball. That was actually what I
Wow.
did. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I don't fully regret it. I don't think I regret it
Mm.
actually because I get to meet a lot of friends that are growing up as a Kiwi instead of just international students,
Mm.
and just enjoying that moment, enjoying another extra year. I guess being not sure.
Kind of reviewing where you are now. Did you have okay? Like let's take 6 years ago or 5 years ago, whenever you came to New Zealand. Is this where you thought you were going to be today?
Definitely not. I've changed my mind. I've questioned about my major many times.
Mm.
I was actually doing finance before I was doing marketing,
Mm.
but then after my exchange, I couldn't. I noticed that I don't really like finance, and I was pretty good at marketing, especially
Right.
like the marketing strategy part. So yeah, I swapped major, and I think I've enjoyed it since. Even though obviously financial knowledge is still useful, but going back to your question, yeah, I really don't think that I would be here doing this much stuff, creating a travel app.
Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah.
That's so cool, man. And just listening and hearing your story to me is it's already an amazing journey. Like, and you're so young, or like us, you're so young. But like compared to me, you're just doing so much, and I'm like even like compared to your time, like I'm so impressed how you're able to split so much, and
Thank you so much. But I know you must be doing so much as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just really cool just to see there's actually young people who are capable leaders. That was like I feel like whenever I discuss with my parents, right, it seems like it goes back at that you're young, it's not your turn yet, you can't be a leader yet. And I always hated that. I always didn't like that. I can't be a leader this young. You got to go through the groundworks. You have to go through this. But like from what I can see from you, if you can prove yourself, even the ability of being able to prove that you can do something great is already a good place to start. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um. Okay. What would you like to say to the people listening? I guess. Previously, this is yeah. Usually I was helping people who yeah, I guess looking for jobs, right? But I guess in your case, what would you like to say to the people listening? What would you like to tell them?
Yeah, I feel like, especially during this unprecedented time, things can get rough, but just try as much things as possible. Just go out there and experience whatever you're passionate about. Just start, just do something. Don't be too afraid of not doing something, because you back again, like our conversation, you got nothing to lose. You would actually gain something by just even trying. For example, when I did the Healthcare Technology Association, I was coming from no health background at all except for my degree,
Hmm.
and then I just saw an advertisement about the position,
Oh
and then I
wow!
just applied. Yeah, I
Wow!
actually I actually just applied, not straight away as a president,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as a vice president, and I was like, oh, it's pretty high up, but might as well just try. I don't know where it takes me, so I just applied and I got in. So thinking back to that, if I didn't apply, I would never know what would
Mm.
happen, and if that time I got rejected too, I would just go back to the same person who just applied, and then that's it, and then move on. So yeah, there's nothing to lose by
I
just trying.
I really like that. There's it's not even like I think you gotta quantify your fear, because I think people
Mhm.
are too afraid of what they're going to lose as opposed to going to gain, right? And I think that's probably
Yeah.
what it boils down to.
And coming back to being in New Zealand is actually a really great place with people that are very open-minded. Literally, if you've been following somebody, not in a creepy way, okay? Like, people are very open to just have a chat with you, have a coffee with you, even though you might not know what you're doing right now, they
Yeah,
might be able to help. So I think, yeah, New Zealand is such a good environment for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hmm.
I, I, I'm quite terrified, but I still want to do that thing that you mentioned. I'm, I write, and not frequently, right? But I try to message people on LinkedIn, and just try to see if if they're willing to talk or something like that. But like at the very least, what I started to do is whenever somebody invites me on LinkedIn, I always instantly send them a message, so it makes the connection personal as opposed to just a number in your plus 500 connection list. At least for me, I like the idea of having a lot. It doesn't have to be a deep relationship, but some sort of human level of communication or connection between whoever is adding me. So I think that helps. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's actually so true. I haven't been always accepting and then, talk to that person straight away.
Mm,
So yeah, I think I should start doing that as well. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't typically say anything if they don't start with anything
Right.
as well.
Well,
Yeah.
I just like the idea. Yeah, like the humanness of it. I'm a big fan of because everything is so automated, or everything's online, and I feel like the human touch is missing. And I'd like to think whoever adds me on LinkedIn would be there to be a human touch to it. So I think that's still fun.
Yeah. I would start doing that
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. That's a good idea.
What is your vision for yourself in the future? Now you're about to graduate. You're starting a separate mobile app company. But what does the future hold for you? Where do you want to go? What are you looking towards or looking forwards to?
To be honest, I'm not completely sure about it. I don't know if you're expecting me to be
No,
so
no, no,
planned
no.
out or anything, but yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm hoping to be able to work something that is health related, and maybe hold, I guess, in 5 years' time, maybe have bigger projects. But something that I've visioned for myself in the next 5 years is also to be able to pass on the learning. So this year I've been lucky enough to have two mentors guiding
Right.
me, yeah, career mentors. So hopefully in 5 years' time, I can help somebody who's in my position right now, or anybody else who's trying to, figure out their career path and everything, and just help them with anything they need. So yeah,
Well,
I'm hoping to do that in 5 years' time.
it's quite amazing how you're just not looking out for yourself. You're also looking after the people who will come after you. Like I get that there's a lot of people, even there's a lot of ambitious people who want to climb, right? They want to climb the ladder, they want to get higher jobs. But you never forgot the new people. You're willing to pass on your information, your knowledge, and be in the position to become a mentor. And I feel like that's something that's not really, not a lot of people are looking at. That's sorry. That just blew me away of just the way you think. That is super cool. I like, like you're super open. You're open to ideas. You're open to working with new people, and I think as someone who saw how hard it is for new people to break it into the working world. There's a lot of people. There's quite a lot of resistance to young people, right? And I like that. I'm super glad that there are people like you who are ready and willing to have somebody under your wing. That's great.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, I'm supported like I said, I'm
Yeah.
supported by two mentors as well. So I think that's something the least that I can do is
Mm.
just to help somebody else who are trying to figure out themselves as well. So yeah.
Mm. Um. Okay. Where can people find you, Gabriella? Do you have a Facebook? Oh, sorry. Like a LinkedIn or a YouTube or Twitter. Where can we find you?
I pretty much for professional settings, I usually use LinkedIn.
Yep. Yep.
Other than that, I use Instagram as well, but I kind of limit
All
my
right.
Instagram followers.
That's okay.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know. We'll see. Anybody
Yeah.
who approaches me, maybe we can become something more than just a number, right?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly.
Um.
Mhm.
I guess just to properly wrap this up, I guess you're not looking for any roles, or you're not applying or trying to say to people in LinkedIn like hire me. Is that not your message today?
I'm open. I'm quite flexible currently because I've been applying to several jobs as well,
Right.
but I'm also working on my travel app.
Mm.
So, um, yeah, this is me just exploring as much things as possible and see where it takes me. Yeah.
Um. All right. No. Thank you very much, Gabriella. Absolutely one of the most unique and influential individual I probably have ever had on this far. So I was definitely looking forward to having this conversation. It was absolutely wonderful to have you on.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This has been such an honor too.
Ah. Thank
And
you.
I know you've been doing such an amazing stuff. When I just saw the trailer, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, what is this? Cool.